Good evening. It is Sunday. Got a lot of stuff done. Been a busy day. Let me get the video going here. Let's see how long this is left. 66. I just started watching this. Hold on. I'm going to fast forward past part of the video I was watching. Alright. Anyway, so I got the chance to go for a short walk in the woods myself today. Just see the leaves, and I brought the avada with me today, and I've talked about this section of the river underneath the power lines that has oxbowed itself and took out a super large section of river that is no longer a functioning part of the river. And I've always wanted to fly it, and I got the chance today because of that. I can't speak enough of the reliability, the video signal, the transmission, the absolutely incredible experience it has been for me to fly this thing every single time I do. I have never flown with such confidence. I trust in my builds, in their capabilities, but with analog, I've gotten used to, and I have adapted to being able to fly as crazy as I do through the foliage with good setups and trusting my stuff. But, there's a chance of failsafe, and if you only have a single, non-diversity receiver, if stuff gets in the way. And I've pushed myself. I have really gone a long ways in the woods with this. But it's different with something like this. At any given time, you can just pause the quad. Literally, where's my remote? Ugh. You literally can just slap the pause button, and if you panic or whatever, or if you get too close to some shit, and it just locks in place until you decide to go. That whole GPS thing is phenomenal. I didn't think I would fall in love with the digital FPV aspect of it as much as I have, because of how much I can see for what I do. And one thing, and I don't think you can do it with analog, is you get this little floating H, wherever you set your home point from, and that's updatable as many times as you need to wherever you are. So in your FPV feed, if you decide to go on a crazy rant through the trees and stuff and go, oh shit, I gotta come back, where the hell do I go? That H always gets you back home. On an ADD moment, if you look at my hands and the rest of my arms and stuff are all scratched up. If you drive a Honda Element, I'm pretty sure the placement of the knock sensor is in the same place on every single one of them. And if you are not mechanically inclined or just not confident in stuff like that, it's an absolute nightmare. It's literally just like a 27 mil socket, just big fat thing, but the intake manifold thing is right in front, and you have a little nook you can get in from the side, but it doesn't allow you to do this, hence my knuckles being all tore up. So we ended up, my daughter, my eldest, was actually able to get her hand in there and help us get the socket and get the thing out, but we were unable to get it back in. So we finally caved and took off the six bolts for the manifold and pulled it away about that much so I could slide my hand in, my other hand, because can't use this hand in, get it in there, get the thing back into place. It literally took maybe an hour and a half at most. Got it done before the sun ended, but both hands, I don't know if this one, both hands are just completely chewed from digging inside that thing. So yeah, if you don't want the headache, and being as old as the car is, I thought that the bolts wouldn't come undone as easy as they did. And there's one bolt for that manifold underneath in the back, which is an absolute pain in the ass that we didn't do, but we were able to manipulate the manifold to get it out. So that was fun. My hands hurt, but it's been an epic weekend of flying. The foliage is starting to turn a little bit. We did some hayride stuff yesterday. We got some pumpkins, all kinds of shit. It's just been epic. Let me unplug this real quick. Let's see what else I added. That's why I had two face out. So I was contemplating. You know me, it's like a running shtick if you follow the channel. With every quad I have, glows in the dark basically with LEDs, and it's an aesthetic thing. I'm obsessed with LEDs. I love lighting. It's goes into the house. Lights like that. There's lights behind that. It's just me. Been that way for a long time. But they serve a huge purpose in the quad for being able to see it. When I go out flying and we've got our visual spotters, it's much easier to see. And this one's kind of hidden and kind of blends into the build a little bit, but I will demonstrate. I'm going to put my phone down, hopefully not knock it over. Okay. That's set up pretty good. So, I tucked them sort of underneath, behind all of the stuff, so it's out of the way and definitely serves its purpose. So that thing will definitely glow and be super bright at nighttime or evening, just afternoon, or even in the daytime out in the woods. That'll make it super easy to see, and nobody's gonna have a problem tracking that down. I retuned it today also. Oh, I can add to the customness. So obviously this is a full custom build with the Beta 95X V2 setup, and that's 2 boards versus everything now that's all one. I had to modify, let's see if I can pull this away. The port for getting into the flight controller was basically in the same spot. It was in the same spot. Can you see it way down there? There you go, way down there. So I had to modify and open up the hole of this to be able to get something down into it to make sure it still worked. That was a neat little challenge. And then, I don't know where I put the cable. Here it is. I've used this one on all the quads for quite some time. I had to shave down. My camera dirty? Wipe that clear. I had to shave that down to make it even squeeze in there. And that was like an after the fact thing. I completely forgot. So I had to go back in and take out the Dremel and Dremel out the hole that was there to make it fit. And it works. The tune that I had on it, it flew good, but it had a little bit of prop wash coming over to this frame, which I found interesting. It's a neat thing to see the characteristics of how it flies. Same setup, just on a different frame. So I had to up the eye gain a little bit, like 3 points or so on roll, pitch, and yaw, and then the idle air. So when you arm the motors, when you start, they spin. It was at like 5, and I went to 5.5, and that completely eliminated all of the prop wash, and it stopped getting squirrely when I was trying to lower throttle. When I was up in the air, it wasn't doing one of these. It just came right down. So solved that problem, worked well. New England FPV will have a new member. I will announce a little bit later in the week. Somebody that I've been talking to for quite some time also subscribed to me and stuff like that, and great person. He'll be a great addition to the team. So stay tuned for that. I may get out tomorrow and even burn some more packs if I can get up early. I've been getting up early every day, and it's kicking my ass because I'm just not sleeping in. Not that I can really sleep in. If I can sleep till 7:30, I'd be happy, but I want to go to Summers Mill Pond, and I want to fly under the bridge and up and over the dam and out over the water. I think that would be spectacular. So I got to do a couple minutes worth of cleaning up and putting some stuff away. You know what? And that's funny. I've been flying this more than anything else because just how blown away I am, and I love flying it. To do testing, I had to break out the old style goggles and the controller and stuff like that. And as much as it's different and not HD and exciting, I threw those on and still like, wow, these are the most comfortable goggles I've ever worn. I can still see really good. It's obviously analog, but I'm still super pleased and very happy. Like, I won't push myself out of it. I wasn't like, oh, I'm throwing these on and this sucks. I love my controller. I love the tension on the sticks, and it feels good. So all is good in the world. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening. I'm going to get back to finishing up and hopefully almost done there. So stay tuned. I got a really kick-ass edit coming out tomorrow. That one's fun. I'm gonna try to stay with the holiday theme, Halloween holiday theme, for the rest of October if I can. And I got a fuck ton of edits sitting in the queue waiting, so I got footage almost for the rest of until spring next year. That's how many edits I've got sitting. Big shout to the rest of the New England FPV team. Hope you guys are doing good, and